A very common problem for online coaches is overcoming the proximity barrier between them and their clients. Because they're not directly in front of the people that they're working with, the clients feel less connected to them, are more likely to fall off because they don't feel as much accountability, and ultimately that impacts their ability to get results. If you don't overcome this barrier as a coach, you're never going to wow your clients, you're never going to get their referrals, they're never going to give you the testimonials that you're after, and ultimately your business is going to suffer. Online coaching is the best job in the world. I'll admit, I'm a little bit biased. Although for you, as the coach, it's fulfilling, it's flexible, and if done right, it can be a quite stable source of income. For the client, it does present a few barriers that are unique to this online medium. As a coach, you know that a client's ability to follow a plan is the most important part of reaching their goal. It doesn't matter how many value adds you have, how fancy your spreadsheets are, or what app you use. It might as well be written on a Waffle House napkin if you're not able to connect with your clients and they're not able to follow the plan. I see it all the time. Coaches looking for that next best thing that's going to elevate their business. But they forget that the client who they're coaching is the one who determines the value. Whether it's training, nutrition, or business, we need to make sure our clients get the accountability that they want and the autonomy they need in order to see the best results possible. We need them to follow through, and for that, they need to be engaged. Engagement isn't fancy, and it's actually a really low-hanging fruit. When we engage our clients, they're immediately going to yield better results and be more bought into the process. If you can increase your clients' engagement, I'll bet the house on your business growing. In this video, I'm going to give you my top 3 tips to increase client buy-in, engagement, and ultimately their adherence. It's why they came to you in the first place. They want the results. You're the one they think can solve their problems, and you're the one who's got the plan they need to follow. Let's dive into it. We need to build deep and meaningful relationships with our clients. This is what they're not going to teach you in school. The fact of the matter is, training and nutrition are sciences, but coaching is an art. And when you mix the two together, that's where the magic happens. The art of coaching comes down to how well you can understand your clients, learn about them, and empathize with them so that you can meet them where they are. From the moment you speak to them in a sales call, an email, or a DM, that's your opportunity to start building that relationship. Spend more time listening and less time speaking. A little bit of sales advice here. If you let a client talk long enough and you ask them pointed questions, they'll usually convince themselves that they need your coaching. Learn their spouse's name, whether they have dogs, what they do for a living. Invest yourself in this person. Knowing what their values are, what their goals are, including this in your onboarding process is a must. You want to get to know your clients on a deep level. Through this interaction, it shows them that you care, because guess what? You do, or at least you should. You should care a lot. The old adage of they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care holds true 100% of the time. If a client doesn't think that you care about them, they're not going to follow through, and they're absolutely not going to buy in. This level of care should be very obvious to the client from the first interaction you have with them to the last, from sales to acquisition to service delivery, and ultimately through the transition out of the coaching process. Having a relationship with your clients based on your mutual investment into their goals is the foundation for implicit accountability within the coaching process. They'll want to adhere because any lack of adherence would be an affront to the relationship that you've built together. Next, we want to increase the frequency and intimacy of our communications. I know that sounds weird, but bear with me. The relationship that you've built with your client should be fortified with every communication you have with them. Every interaction matters. The more frequent your interactions can be, and the more intimate that they are, the deeper your relationship will grow. Choosing communication mediums that let your clients hear your voice and see your face reigns supreme here. Rather than using exclusively email for communication, consider switching over to an app like WhatsApp or using software like Loom for communication. Loom is a phenomenal software. Rather than replying to check-ins with email, replying with a Loom video allows your client to hear your voice, see your face, and communicate with you on a deeper level. Loom, for example, simplifies the check-in process. Replying to check-ins with emails is fine, but when you respond with a Loom video with a screencast of their check-in sheet, it allows a much deeper communication with your client and saves you time because speaking is much easier than typing. Any tool that lets you save time and improve the quality of your service is worth its weight in gold. Lastly, offer your availability for monthly calls as needed. Most likely, very rarely will clients take advantage of this, but simply knowing it's available will improve the communication between the two of you and the value that they see from the coaching. Not to mention, having the ability to hop on a call with your client drastically improves your ability to troubleshoot issues and be proactive rather than reactive. This level of availability and increased intimacy and communication communication drastically improves the perceived value of your business and helps to overcome the physical proximity barrier between you and your client. You're not right there beside them, but they feel like you are. Lastly, you want to meet your clients where they are. I cannot tell you how many times coaching relationships have eroded because a coach has not met the client where they are. Essentially, they're trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. It ruins the client's confidence and adherence falls off a cliff. The client didn't have the skills, they weren't prepared, and simply they didn't have their values aligned to be able to follow through with the plan. When this happens, it's your fault, coach. An example here would be assigning strict macros to someone who has no idea whether peanut butter is a protein or a carb. It simply won't work. Through the process of building a relationship with your client, you'll come to understand what they're willing and unwilling to do and what they're prepared or unprepared to change. It's your responsibility as a coach to start them off with a plan they're equipped to follow. From there, they're able to stack wins early, build up their toolbox, and if needed, they can increase the complexity of the intervention as they go along. Where they start doesn't need to be indicative of where they finish. That said, big goals don't require fancy plans. They just require consistent adherence over time. Your ability to fit the plan to the client and not the client to the plan is what's going to determine their rate of success. It's make or break. You always coach the client, not the program. Adherence is the number one most important factor in any coaching relationship. Start with building that relationship as strongly as you can. Fortify it with frequent and intimate communications and meet the client where they are and help them stack wins early. If you do these three things, you'll be setting your clients up for success. If you feel like you need more help, click the link in the description. Once you're a pro at getting your clients to stick to their plan, check out the video where I discuss how to get them better results. I know you'll love it. Stay strong.